Today, I want to share a moment that caught the attention of millions around the world. When we talk about the future, technology, and pushing the limits of human potential, one name always comes up: Elon Musk, a man building rockets, cars, satellites, and dreams bigger than life itself. But even someone standing on the frontier of science can still be humbled by wisdom that came centuries before all of us. Elon Musk expresses surprise and admiration after learning some of the profound sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and this reaction became a moment that fascinated people across the world. When someone like Elon Musk, who spends his life building rockets, imagining civilizations on Mars, and pushing technology to its absolute limits, comes across wisdom that is more than 1,400 years old and still completely relevant, it leaves a strong impression. It reminds us that even in an age of artificial intelligence, electric cars, and interplanetary travel, the human heart remains deeply moved by truth, clarity, and timeless guidance. Musk has always been known for his curiosity, and it was that same curiosity that led him to explore teachings far outside the world of science. What he found in the words of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was something that resonated with him on a personal level. These words spoke about seeking knowledge as a lifelong duty, encouraging every individual to continue learning, growing, and exploring principles that perfectly match Musk's own approach to innovation. This alignment surprised him because he realized that the mindset he believes is necessary for humanity's future was already expressed centuries ago with remarkable precision. His reaction showed genuine respect. He was amazed at how these teachings did not restrict knowledge, but instead encourage exploration, observation, and reflection. This is unusual in a world where ancient teachings are often assumed to be outdated or disconnected from modern science. Yet here was a man responsible for creating reusable rockets, satellite networks, and electric vehicles, finding inspiration and guidance that existed long before electricity or engineering textbooks. It shows that science and spirituality are not opposites. Rather, they can complement one another, each offering insight into different parts of the human experience. Musk also admired how these sayings emphasized humility, reminding even the most successful individuals to stay grounded. For someone constantly in the public eye, often labeled as a genius or visionary, this message carried extra weight. This key moment became a reminder to the world wisdom does not weaken with time. True guidance remains powerful no matter how many centuries pass. Musk's reaction highlighted how greatness recognizes greatness and how profound words can still touch the minds of even the most forward-thinking innovators of our era. The universal wisdom found in the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has a way of touching hearts regardless of time, culture, or background, and that is exactly what happened when Elon Musk came across some of these teachings. These words, which emphasize knowledge, humility, justice, compassion, and service to humanity, are not limited to any one group. They speak to the entire human race. Musk, who operates in the world of science and futuristic thinking, found himself moved by lessons that offer a moral compass for both individuals and societies. What amazed him most was how these teachings, spoken centuries ago, align perfectly with values that modern leaders and innovators consider essential for progress. At a time when technology is advancing faster than our ability to understand its consequences, such timeless guidance becomes even more relevant. The teachings about justice impressed him deeply. He saw how they emphasized fairness, honesty, and accountability, principles that remain at the center of every functioning society. Even in the modern world where governments and corporations often struggle with ethical decisions, these ancient words laid out standards of justice that felt surprisingly fresh and applicable. Musk recognized that for any future civilization, whether on Earth or another planet, justice is the foundation that keeps people unified and stable. Without justice, innovation becomes dangerous. With justice, innovation becomes beneficial. Similarly, the emphasis on compassion struck a chord with him. As someone who has seen both the heights of success and the pressure of global expectations, Musk understood the importance of staying connected to human emotions. The teachings encourage kindness toward others, care for the vulnerable, and empathy for those facing hardship. In a world filled with competition, corporate pressure, and rapid growth, compassion often gets lost. Yet these words reminded him, and remind all of us, that progress without humanity creates a cold and divided world. Compassion creates unity, understanding, and balance. The teachings on humility also resonated. Musk, often praised as a visionary and sometimes criticized for his boldness, found it refreshing that true greatness lies not in pride but in humility. The message was simple but powerful. No matter how far humanity advances, we must remain grounded, respectful, and aware of our limitations. That idea, coming from a time with no technology, felt profoundly relevant to someone leading the technological revolution. Through these universal messages of justice, compassion, humility, and the pursuit of knowledge, Musk discovered that wisdom from the past still guides the path toward a better future. This keynote focuses on the importance of keeping the message balanced and respectful, especially when speaking about religious figures and modern public personalities. The goal is to highlight admiration and inspiration without claiming anything that could be interpreted as conversion, prediction, or personal endorsement from Elon Musk. When discussing a figure as influential as Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it is important to stay accurate and respectful, presenting his teachings as universal wisdom rather than attributing beliefs or statements to individuals that they themselves have not declared. This balance ensures that the message remains powerful, inspiring, and truthful. When Elon Musk expresses surprise or admiration after reading certain sayings, it is not a declaration of religious change, but a moment of recognizing the depth and clarity of timeless wisdom. His response reflects curiosity and intellectual respect, qualities he is already known for in his work and public life. This approach protects the authenticity of the narrative. It keeps the story rooted in appreciation rather than exaggeration, allowing the message to resonate with a global audience that includes people from many backgrounds. It is important to show that profound teachings can inspire anyone who hears them without crossing into assumptions about personal belief. Respect is the key to ensuring that both religious and non-religious listeners feel comfortable and valued. When shared responsibly, such a message becomes a bridge that brings people together instead of dividing them. By focusing on universal themes like knowledge, compassion, justice, humility, the speech remains uplifting and meaningful for everyone. Another important part of this keynote is how it highlights the role of inspiration. Great teachings throughout history, whether they come from prophets, philosophers, scientists, or leaders, have the power to touch hearts and minds even centuries later. When someone like Musk encounters such wisdom, it is natural for him to appreciate it as a thinker who constantly seeks new ideas and perspectives. This type of admiration shows that profound words do not belong to one time or one community, they belong to humanity. That is why the speech stays careful not to cross into claims about faith or personal decisions. Inspiration is universal, and many people admire the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, without necessarily adopting a particular belief system. By keeping the message focused on respect, inspiration, and universal values, the speech becomes stronger. It honors the greatness of the Prophet's teachings while also acknowledging Musk's role as a thinker engaged with ideas from every direction. This approach ensures honesty, dignity, and a message that uplifts everyone who hears it. This keynote highlights how Steve Harvey uses the moment to show the connection between timeless wisdom and modern innovation. When Steve Harvey reacts to Elon Musk being impressed by the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he focuses on something powerful, the idea that true wisdom does not fade with time. Harvey has always been someone who appreciates guidance, faith, and moral principles, and seeing a figure like Musk admire ancient teachings allows him to highlight a message he often speaks about. Greatness is not only found in what we build today, but also in what was spoken centuries before us. He uses this moment to remind people that inspiration can come from anywhere, and sometimes the deepest lessons come from voices long gone yet still alive through their words. Harvey understands the influence Musk has on millions. When a man leading some of the most advanced technological projects pauses to appreciate wisdom that existed long before electricity or engineering, it becomes a moment worth discussing. Harvey uses that moment not to exaggerate anything, but to reflect on how teachings rooted in compassion, humility, justice, and knowledge can still guide the modern world. He knows that people often separate faith and technology, thinking they belong in different worlds. But this reaction from Musk gives Harvey the perfect example to show that wisdom and invention are not enemies, they support each other. A strong moral foundation helps guide innovation in the right direction, making sure people use progress to uplift humanity instead of harming it. Harvey also understands the power of recognition. When someone highly respected in the scientific world acknowledges the depth of spiritual teachings, it sends a message that wisdom is not limited by religion, culture, or background. It becomes a universal gift. Harvey uses this to tell his audience that greatness recognizes greatness. Whether it comes from a prophet's teachings, a scientist's discoveries, or a leader's vision, the value of truth is always felt, no matter where it originates. By highlighting Musk's admiration, Harvey encourages people to open their hearts and minds to learn from sources they may have overlooked. Another key element Harvey presses on is humility. Musk, despite all his accomplishment, was able to appreciate and respect the words of a historical figure whose teachings still guide millions. To Harvey, this shows the importance of staying grounded. No matter how advanced our world becomes, no matter how high rockets fly or how intelligent machines grow, humanity must stay connected to values that have shaped civilizations. Harvey uses Musk's reaction as a reminder that knowledge from the past can illuminate the path toward the future, making this moment a powerful bridge between ancient wisdom and modern innovation. This keynote focuses on the message of unity, how knowledge from the past can guide the future, and how people from completely different worlds can still meet on the same ground of wisdom. When Elon Musk shows admiration for the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it becomes more than just a moment of curiosity. It becomes a powerful example of how timeless wisdom continues to influence even those working at the very edge of human progress. Steve Harvey uses this beautifully in his speech, showing that wisdom does not belong to any one group, culture, or century. It flows beyond borders. It bridges generations. It brings together minds that may appear worlds apart. Harvey understands that the world today is divided in countless ways, technology moving fast, culture shifting, societies disagreeing. But what has always unified humanity are values that speak directly to the heart: compassion, justice, humility, kindness, and the desire to learn. When Musk remains deeply focused on science and innovation, connects with teachings that emphasize these values, it becomes a reminder that the human experience is shared. No matter how advanced machines become, people will always need moral direction. No matter how quickly the world changes, people will always search for meaning. These teachings provide that meaning, and Harvey uses this connection to show his audience that wisdom has no expiration date. Harvey also emphasizes how this moment teaches us to look beyond our differences. He knows that people come from different religions, backgrounds, and perspectives, but he believes that truth has a way of speaking to everyone. When someone like Musk appreciates these teachings, it sends a message that you don't need to belong to a specific faith to recognize depth. You don't need to share the same culture to understand value. You only need an open mind. That message is essential in a world where disagreements often overshadow common ground. Harvey sees Musk's admiration not as something connected to belief, but as something connected to understanding. Another important point Harvey draws from this moment is the connection between past and future. He often speaks about how people cannot move forward unless they learn from those who came before. History contains guidance, examples, and warnings. The teachings of great leaders and prophets show us how to live with purpose and balance. Musk may be designing rockets to reach Mars, but even he understands that the foundation of a better future depends on the values we carry with us. Harvey uses this to show that greatness is not only measured by inventions, but also by the principles guiding those inventions. He points out that the future will be strongest when it is built on a combination of knowledge from yesterday and innovation from tomorrow. That unity between what was and what will be is what keeps humanity stable. Harvey believes that when a technological thinker acknowledges ancient wisdom, it shows that the journey forward requires both science and soul. This unity becomes a powerful reminder that progress and morality must walk side by side. This keynote highlights the idea that learning from great historical figures is not limited to any time, culture, or belief system. When Steve Harvey talks about Elon Musk being inspired by the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he is emphasizing a universal truth: wisdom belongs to everyone. It does not matter whether a person is an engineer working on rockets, an entrepreneur building new technologies, or a spiritual seeker trying to understand life. Wisdom has the power to guide anyone who approaches it with sincerity. Harvey understands this deeply, and he uses Musk's reaction as a way to show the world that guidance from the past is not something old or outdated. Instead, it is a source of strength that can still shape the future. Harvey points out that in today's world, people often become so busy with modern life that they forget how much can be learned from the leaders, thinkers, and prophets who came before us. Many people assume that the past has nothing left to offer because our generation has technology, science, and fast communication. But Harvey believes the opposite. He believes the past holds treasures, lessons that can prevent us from repeating mistakes, build better character, and help society grow with balance. When Musk, a man known for futuristic thinking, pauses to appreciate teaching spoken more than 14 centuries ago, it becomes a powerful example that the wisdom of great figures never loses its value. Harvey also emphasizes that learning from historical figures does not mean putting aside modern thinking. In fact, he believes the two work best when they complement each other. Technology tells us how far we can go, but wisdom tells us how we should go. Modern inventions show us what is possible, but ancient teachings show us what is meaningful. When combined, they create progress that is responsible, compassionate, and ethical. Harvey uses Musk's admiration of the prophet's teachings to remind people that innovation without guidance can become dangerous, and knowledge without morality can lead to chaos. But when moral wisdom guides progress, humanity moves forward in a way that uplifts everyone. Another important point Harvey highlights is that great historical figures, including prophets, spoke in ways that touched the heart. Their words were filled with clarity, depth, and purpose. These teachings were not meant for one nation or one century. They were meant for all of humanity. Harvey sees this moment with Musk as proof that great teachings still speak to people today, regardless of their background. It shows that the human heart has not changed. We still seek justice, compassion, truth, humility, and meaning. These values remain the foundation of every strong society, and voices from the past continue to remind us of that. Harvey also uses this to encourage people, especially the younger generation, to open their minds. He knows that many young people today see history as something boring or irrelevant. But Harvey argues that history is alive. Its lessons are hidden in stories, quotes, and examples that can shape a person's character. He reminds his audience that every great leader, inventor, or thinker learned from someone who came before them. Progress is built on layers. Each generation adds something, but the foundation always comes from the wisdom of earlier generations. Harvey believes that Musk's reaction is an invitation for all of us to explore teachings we may have ignored. It shows that even the brightest minds can still learn from voices of the past. When Harvey says that wisdom is universal, he means it. The words of great historical figures continue to light the way, and no matter how advanced the world becomes, humanity will always return to the roots of truth, morality, and guidance. By learning from those who came before us, we find the direction we need to move confidently into the future.